In the digital world, the things that can hurt us rarely look dangerous at first. They arrive quietly disguised as something ordinary: a friendly email, a helpful notification, a file that seems useful, a message that feels urgent. We live in an age where almost everything we care about is stored behind screens and passwords. Memories, conversations, work, identity, all compressed into glowing rectangles we carry in our pockets every day. And yet, for all the complexity of the modern internet, the way danger enters our lives remains surprisingly simple. A single click, a moment of trust, a brief distraction, one decision made too quickly. Today, I want to explore the threats that hide in those small moments, not to frighten you, but to show you the patterns. The quiet ways phishing, malware, and ransomware weave themselves into the cracks of daily life. This is not a story about hackers in dark rooms. It is a story about human habits, fragile attention, and the invisible balance between caution and convenience. So let's take a slow walk through the digital landscape. Let's understand the dangers, not with fear, but with clarity. Because once you can see them, you can avoid them. Let's begin. In the digital world, danger rarely arrives with a warning. It doesn't kick down your door. It doesn't shout. It doesn't flash red on your screen like in the movies. Most of the time, it begins quietly with an email that looks familiar, a link that feels harmless, a download that seems convenient, a moment where your mind is somewhere else, and your guard is down for just 1 second. And sometimes that 1 second is all it takes for your entire digital life to change. Today, I want to tell you a story, not about computers, but about people. Because in cybersecurity, it is not the machines that break first. It is often the human moments between them. Let's explore the world of cyber threats. Not with fear, but with clarity. Not with panic, but with understanding. Because the things that live inside our screens often begin with something that lives inside our minds. There are 3 threats that shape the digital landscape more than any others: phishing, malware, and ransomware. 3 different forms. 3 different intentions. But all of them share one thing: they rely on us being human. Let's begin with the one that feels the most familiar. The one that doesn't hack machines, but hacks trust. Phishing. Phishing is the art of pretending to be someone you know, someone you trust, or someone you fear disappointing. It might look like a bank asking you to update your information, or a delivery service saying your package is delayed, or a coworker urgently needing a file. Everything feels almost right, almost real, almost safe. But that's the trick of phishing: it hides inside the almost. Phishing works not because we're careless, but because we're emotional. Hackers don't target logic, they target urgency, curiosity, anxiety, greed, or even generosity. They know that when we feel something strongly, we stop examining the details. A slightly misspelled domain, a strange tone in the message, a link that's off by 1 letter. And in that split second when emotion outweighs caution, we click, and the door opens. Some phishing emails are crude, some are sophisticated, but all of them share one idea: you cannot hack a locked door, but you can trick someone into opening it. Now, let's step deeper into the digital city. Behind the alleys and shadows waits the second threat: malware. If phishing is a con artist, malware is the uninvited guest who slips into your house and begins touching everything. Malware can look like a normal file, a helpful tool, a free download, or a harmless attachment. But behind the icon, it carries intentions you cannot see. Some malware observes quietly, like spyware recording everything you type, watching every website you visit, collecting your passwords, 1 keystroke at a time. Some malware spreads like worms, moving from one device to the next, with no need for permission. Some hides inside something friendly like a Trojan, wrapped in a game, a PDF, or a fake installer, only revealing its true purpose after it has slipped inside. And some malware is simply chaos in code, designed to break, erase damage, or disrupt. But no matter the form, malware behaves like a visitor who never leaves. It lives in the background, breathing through your system, feeding on your habits, studying your patterns, and waiting for the right moment to take something from you. Malware rarely enters with force. It enters because we hold the door open when curiosity wins over caution or convenience beats patience. But there is a threat far more aggressive. A threat that doesn't want your password or your browsing history or your quiet data. It wants something much bigger control. This is ransomware. Imagine waking up one morning, turning on your computer, and finding that every file, every photo, every project, every memory is locked behind a digital wall you cannot break. No key, no exit. Only a message cold and emotionless telling you that your data has been taken hostage. And if you want it back, you must pay. That is ransomware, a digital kidnapping. A crime that doesn't steal your data, but buries it alive deep under encryption, waiting for a ransom payment that may or may not restore what you once had. Some people pay, some refuse, some lose everything. And the cruelest part is this ransomware often enters quietly through a bad attachment. A trusted-looking link, a single accidental click. All three threats: phishing, malware, ransomware, look different, feel different, and behave differently. But all of them share the same first step, a human moment. A moment of distraction, a moment of trust, a moment of rushing, a moment of wanting something to be true. The weakest point in cybersecurity has never been the firewall or the encryption or the antivirus. It has always been the human heartbeat. So how do we protect ourselves? Not with paranoia, but with presence. Not by being fearful, but by being thoughtful. Small habits create enormous safety. Pause before clicking. Ask yourself if the message feels strange. Check the email address, not just the name. Update your software even when it feels inconvenient. Use two-factor authentication even when it adds seconds to your login. Back up your files even when it feels unnecessary. Avoid downloading free tools that offer more than they promise. Cybersecurity doesn't begin with technology. It begins with patience, with awareness, with small decisions made carefully instead of quickly. The internet is a vast, complicated city full of brilliant architecture and dark corners. You cannot control every street in it, but you can choose how you walk through it. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: safety isn't about building walls around your life. It's about building habits inside it. Because one careful click can protect everything, and one careless click can put everything at risk. Our digital lives are fragile, held together by passwords, screens, clouds files, and the trust we place in the invisible. But with awareness, with intention, with a little bit of clarity, we can walk through this digital world, not afraid, but prepared. The threats are real: phishing, malware, ransomware. But so is our ability to understand them, to recognize them, to respect them. And once you understand something, it becomes far less powerful. So the next time an email urges you to act quickly, or a download looks too good to be true, or a message feels a little off, pause. Take a breath. Look again. In the digital world, awareness is armor, and your attention is the strongest shield you have. If this journey through the digital world has taught us anything, it's that cybersecurity isn't really about computers. It's about people. It's about the choices we make in quiet moments. The seconds before we click the hesitation, before we trust the awareness we carry with us as we move through the online world. Phishing, malware, ransomware. They are all built on the same truth that human beings are emotional, imperfect, and sometimes terribly distracted. But that is not a weakness. It is simply part of being alive. And because of that, we don't need to be perfect to stay safe. We just need to be present. We need to pause, to look twice, to question what feels off, to build small habits that become quiet armor. You don't have to be a cybersecurity expert. You don't have to understand every line of code. All you need is awareness, the kind that comes from understanding the story behind the threat. So as you return to your digital life, your emails, your files, your everyday clicks, carry this with you. That safety is not a fortress you build once, but a practice you repeat gently every day. Thank you for listening and for taking the time to understand the unseen risks in the world we all share. Until next time, take care of your digital self and let your awareness be the quiet light that keeps the dark away.